everybody doing today? See who we got. Lonnie Solis, Shane Hall. What's up, guys? Welcome, guys and gals. How's everyone doing? Let me know how you're doing in the questions box. Just going to click record here. Couple things. Awesome. Guys, can you hear me okay in the audio? Just type a 1 or a yes if you can hear me all right. And then we can get into some Q&A. Okay, I think you guys can hear me. If you can't for some reason, definitely type it. I wanted to make a couple quick announcements. And real quick, guys, I know I'm kind of beating this to death, but I want to make sure that everybody knows. This Inner Circle offer is going away tomorrow at the end of business. So that's about 15, 16 hours from that, excuse me, 24 hours plus 5 or 6. That's like 30 hours, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm going to close it up. I've got some incredible things in store for this program. When we open it to the public, it's going to have all kinds of stuff in it. The good thing is, if you guys join, I will have you in at a grandfather grade, and you guys are going to receive some premium stuff. I'm toying with a couple things right now, testing them. And not only are you going to get access to everything that I am testing, but you're also going to get access to a few extra trainings that I have never released before. If you guys know that I have been working on a sales consulting program with Ryan in the fitness industry, and most of you, I think, understand by now that Facebook ads it's awesome for lead generation. But if people cannot close your leads, then your clients will start to evaporate. That's just the bottom line at some point or another. So I think we've got like 2 or 3 spots open for Inner Circle. The video is right here. It's pinned on desktop. This pin post will come up right away. If you're on mobile, it will truncate this and it'll just say click here to expand the pin post. But if you guys think that you need help with this stuff at all, let me show you. Really, really good results happening here. Or actually, no, that wasn't in here. I can show you guys some stuff in there if you want. But hey, Lonnie, are you in Inner Circle? Type a 1 or yes, or let me know yes or no, Lonnie, if you're in there yet or not. I know Shane hopped in. Lonnie's not. Okay. So Lonnie, let me show this to you. This is a good, for the people who catch the replay, let me show you. Where's my live video? Okay, so I posted a video here explaining everything. I know people are seeing it. It says seen by 110, so people are seeing it and stuff. Liam says, if you're on the fence about this, just do it. Super worth it. I'm watching my game improve every week. And Liam is seriously stepping his game up. Ed says, ditto comments with Liam. If you're on a growing FB advertising business, this is 100% worth it. It's already paid for itself for a whole year. I mean, guys, we're there actually helping Ed with his client campaigns, actually helping Liam with his client campaigns, meaning we're helping them rewrite the ad copy, helping them with their video scripts so their clients can make compelling video. Our campaign building team, if they have a technical issue, Jess will jump in with a screencast video and give them the answers to the test there. Raj is our copywriter. So, hey, welcome, Karen. Raj is our copywriter, so he'll rewrite any copy that you want in your funnel. And we've also got, so what's cool is like, I totally gave away like my secret sauce last time, which was awesome. I love doing stuff like that, guys. I'm not like one of those people who keeps all my secrets close to my vest. But I only talk about that kind of stuff if I feel like people can handle it, right? And so everybody in the inner circle was kind of hungry for that next step. And the next step for me in my Facebook advertising agency evolution was to start helping my clients with sales. Because as you guys start to book more and more clients, you'll find out that that's the next problem they have. Like, you can get them leads, you can get them a million leads, but if they can't close the leads, I mean, they'll get some business from it just because some people will sign up no matter what. But if they can get good at sales, making 2 or 3 small tweaks, oh my God, it's like night and day difference. They could double to quadruple their conversion rate literally overnight if you give them a few proven sales script templates. So I wish I had known that earlier in my career, actually at the very beginning of my career. I wish I would have had that in my back pocket. I don't remember when I started paying a lot of attention to sales, but it was too late. I honestly feel like most business, like if you walk into an average small business, 90 to 98 out of 100 will have a terrible sales process, like not even approachable. That's like staggering, you know? How are businesses who are still in brick and mortar phase surviving in that instance? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. Really makes me scared for those people, to be honest. That's what I think about is like if they don't know how to do these things, how do they stay open, you know? So we're teaching that right now in the inner circle trainings, which is like on the days where the campaign reviews have all been covered and everybody's questions have been answered. I've been teaching this stuff and bringing in my team to teach sales, meaning sales for your clients, so that they can help convert prospects and walk-ins and, you know, whatever leads they have, whatever opportunities they have in front of them, start helping them close those people. And it's like 2 or 3 sentences can kind of make all the difference. So it's not super complicated or elaborate. It's more of a positioning statement thing and a messaging thing, and then a little bit of scripting. That's all it is. So at the end of the day, guys, I just really want to make sure you understand what's going on over there. It's interesting to me that people will fight the urge to get more help sometimes, you know, like, and I've done it. I've been guilty of it too. For the first 3 years that I owned my agency, I didn't hire a single consultant, didn't listen to anybody else. I just thought I knew how to run it. And at the end of the day, I was just sort of like operating with my head stuck in the sand. And that's typical, right? But what I said this in this video, and I want for you guys to understand this. Like, I don't care who you hire, but go hire someone. In college, I couldn't afford to hire anybody to do anything. You know what I could afford to do was to go to Barnes & Noble, which was still around a lot then, go to your bookstore, your local bookstore, and read the books that you need to read and then put it back on the shelf. That's who you can afford to hire at that time. I mean, I was eating ramen every night, working 3 jobs. So I was broken and broke, tons of debt, put myself in tons of debt through school. I was lifeguarding at the butt crack of dawn, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. was my shift most days. And then I would go to classes, and then I would teach a couple of, I was like a professor's assistant. So I would help with like study groups and stuff like that during the day between my classes, and then at nighttime I would bust tables, right? Like that's what I did for most of my college, and I still came out with a bunch of debt, but that's like another topic for another time. But the best that I could afford at the time was going to the bookstore or the library and reading the business books that they had, and that's how I got started with all this stuff. And I was like 19, you know. And so if you can't afford this right now, go get some kind of help, right? Like, we've got these Q&A calls, ask good questions, stop telling yourself stories, just ask good questions. Like, think about what the next logical thing that you need to do is to progress, and then ask somebody who's done it before for help. Ask them the question, like, okay, I'm here right now and I'm trying to get to here. What do I do next, right? So guys, hire the best that you can afford at the time. That's a quote that one of the most successful people I've ever met in my entire life. This guy's a no-name. You would never know him, but he's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars now. And when I was in college, I got the opportunity to meet a guy like this, and he was super cool. He was just there to give back, and I just said, like, what is like one piece of advice that you'd give a kid my age? Like, if you look back and saw yourself now, like, what would you say to me, who has like no resources or anything? And he's just like, hire the best that you can afford at the time. And I just like never forgot it, you know. So if you guys have like, and let me fast forward to where I am now. I mean, I pay $30,000 to hire the best. I did that 3 times last year, you know. I'm sorry, not 3 times last year, but probably in 2 years I did it 3 times, right? So it's not like I'm just looking to dump money, but where I can get a good return on investment, I hire whoever I can that's the best out there, so I can get the fastest result possible, and that consultant or organization can bring me, you know, the desired result, and cut down 2 to 5 years of learning curve, right? That's totally where we're at right now with things, especially now more than ever, right? There's so much more information than we've ever had. We can look at anything up, but how do you, it's almost like the opposite problem now. We have so many resources at our fingertips for free. How do you know what is good, targeted, useful information? That's where you need to go hire the best that you can afford at the time, right? Vita says, totally believe in getting help from the best. I will invest when I get clients. Totally broke right now. I get it, Vita. I want to put this back on you and on Lonnie. What can I help you with right now, since you do have me, and this costs nothing, to help you further your business, right? What specific problem are you having right now that I can help you with? I don't have a single question in my questions box yet. So tell me what I can do to help you get a client, help you create that income, right? And guys, I might be painfully silent this call. Like it's astonishing to me that I got an email. I'll give you guys a good example, right? This is a mindset thing, guys. You guys have something that is holding you back right now. You're just afraid to type it. I already know what the problem is. But what's crazy is we have a client who signed up for one of our biggest offerings that we have. And this client signed up, and she had a bit of a hiccup on the personal front, like 3 days after her husband got sick. And but she was admittedly all over the place when she signed up for our fitness training program. She owns a CrossFit gym, and we sold her a sales consulting package with like a retainer on the back of it, kind of thing. And she just wrote us and basically said that she's overwhelmed. And that's understandable. As business owners, we all get overwhelmed, and especially when you've got something like that happening in your life. But she was like that before, she was like that during, and she's now like that after. Like this issue is gone now. So she wrote us this big, long letter about how she essentially is blaming everything on us about why she can't get this thing done. And literally, we have a 100% success rate with our sales consulting program. Like, there's not a single person in there who does not get results. Like, we ensure that they do, right? If you can send a text message or an email or speak to people, you can do the things that we happen to do in this program, right? So essentially, when you look at the things that she's saying, it actually has nothing to do with us, even though that's all she's talking about in the emails. Is like, there's too much technology, there's not enough time. If I had known this before, I would have never signed up. Da 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 da. And the answer is sitting right in front of her. It's literally like, if you can compose an email, which I know you did several times today, you can do this and hit send, and you will make money. You will get members. And what she's doing is not being logical about anything. She's actually mirroring her mindset onto us. guys. So this is like an important lesson for you, right? When you tell somebody something, you have to be really self-aware about what you're saying and why. So when you're like, I'm out of resources, I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't have credit, I don't have this, I don't have that. What you're projecting out there into the world is a mirror image of the way that your mind is behaving right now, right? So you're projecting all that stuff out as a reason, right? A justification for why you're feeling that way. And guys, I'm not downplaying reasons, but like I've had a lot of tragedy in my life, and those are good reasons, right? There's good reasons and there's bad reasons. The good reasons are there's something that's like a once in a lifetime tragedy, you know. That's a good reason. A bad reason is, oh, I'm just overwhelmed and I can't seem to figure this stuff out, even though all it is talking and typing and clicking a mouse. That is an awful, 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 awful reason. You know why? The reason why is because the market does not care over the long term what happens to you, period, but especially if you can't be bothered to do something about your own business, right? And I'm trying to make this analogy with our client story because I got caught in telling myself this stuff for decades, like 2 decades I did this, right? Oh, I grew up poor. Oh, there was days where I went hungry in high school and junior high. Oh, my mom was a single mom. Oh, my dad, I didn't realize how much my dad loved me till he died. Oh, my dad died because the guy on the control tower messed up and 2 helicopters collided while my dad was teaching a student how to fly. Oh, the federal government is trying to say that it was my dad's fault that everything happened and this other pilot's fault, when really it was their bad because the tower, gave them instructions to collide. Oh, it's going to take 7.5 years to successfully sue the federal government in order to clear my dad's name and make sure that everybody knows it was their fault, not ours. Like, guys, I'm telling you, I have faced more adversity than probably 3 lifetimes worth of people. I shit you not. If my grandmother didn't own the house that we were in, I don't know how my mom would have been able to keep us fed and go to school, or keep me fed and go to school. It was just me, but keep both of us fed. And so when you start to tell yourself a certain story, you have to be really careful about what that story is, because when you've gone through something that's hard, the brain remembers bad shit way more than it remembers good stuff. That's just how we're wired. It's meant for survival, you know. There's definitely no shame in being like, I got knocked down. The important part is that you get back up, right? But what ends up happening is our brain remembers that, ooh, that was painful when I was down. Don't want that to happen again. That's our lizard brain, right? That's our limbic brain. It's the smallest, most central part of our brain. Everything passes through that brain to get to the other layers of our brain. And so it's not your fault that happens. It's just every human, right? So when bad stuff happens, our brain goes, whoop, don't want that, nope, right? It like tightens up. And it's important that you're cognizant of when that happens. A lot of people don't think about it. They're just like, oh, I didn't even notice that, right? But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand where you're at and understand that when you have these sorts of thoughts, it's either, if you're retracting, it oftentimes takes you away from exactly where you need to be, right? So if we have like this limbic brain, right, that is just constantly keeping us out of our proper mindset, at the end of the day, guys, it is our job to say, I am not just a caveman or cavewoman. I can definitely push through this and get through some hard stuff. And at the end of the day, when like the rubber meets the road, the market doesn't care about what I've been through or what's happened, or that I don't think I can do technology or any of that. It's going to move on without, right? I mean, this is just a fact of life. Like, the iPhone did not come out because people thought it was a ridiculous idea. It just came out. It just did, you know, and that's why Steve Jobs is, you know, praised as such a genius. Like when they were doing market research for the iPhone, everybody who did the market research was like, only princes in Dubai who have diamond-studded everything and gold-laced everything will ever pay $1,000 for a phone like that. But there was a tiny, tiny, tiny segment of proof that that Steve Jobs was on the right track, and he just opened up and just took it and ran with it, right? And so, guys, you kind of have to have that abandon for your fear to say that to yourself, like, look, you know, I know that I'm going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes either way. That's the thing. So when you make mistakes, it should be in the pursuit of something good instead of in the pursuit of being quote unquote safe, because everybody's brain will take them back that direction. Like, oh, it's a lot safer for me to just not do anything and then crawl back in my hole and keep things the same as they always have been, right? So, you know, yeah, so thank you, Vita. Vita says, sorry to hear that. You've overcome a lot. Thanks for sharing. And I appreciate that. I wasn't actually saying it for that reason. I'm sure you guys know that, but it's worth saying. You know, like, it's interesting, Vita, that you write that because the day that I found out that we'd won, it was unceremoniously, unmemorably, you know, good. Like I remember the 7.5 years of bad stuff way more vividly than I do the good stuff, right? But that's just how we're wired. That's just how we are as humans. And so, I mean, guys, like I kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, but I hope you understand the point here. The point is that when you hire somebody who's the best that you can afford at the time, it's usually, I don't care if it's a book even. I mean, this happens with books all the time or audio tapes. Those people that are one step closer to where you want to be typically will do two things. They will help you with your mindset, meaning they'll help you get out of that like trap that you keep telling yourself, the story that you're telling yourself that it's going to be this way, it's going to be this way, it's going to be this way. Those people have been through that, so they'll pull you out of that mindset and draw you closer to where you want it to be, right? So that's number one. Number two, they're going to cut out all the noise and be like, focus on just these things to get there. So it's a much quieter, more specific, very detailed route. So they typically have the skill set to bring you to where you are because they've tried way more trial and error than you have. So they're cutting all that stuff out and just saying, here's how to get there, right? So, so guys, it can literally be a book. It can be an audio tape. It can be a $40 course. It can be whatever it is. But go hire somebody, guys. My point at the beginning was I don't even care if you hire me. Like, it doesn't matter. I just want for you guys to get the help that you want, that you deserve, that you need. And I'm telling you that when I got started off, I just did books. That's the cheapest way. You don't even have to buy them. You know, there's not even like a Netflix for books. You know what I mean? Like, you just go and read a book for free and then stick it back on the shelf. Don't buy it. You can get through 2 or 3 books a week doing that. I've done it before. It's by far the Ed says he's late. Welcome, Ed. No problem, man. Okay, Vita has a good question. Yeah, Vita, like, the library is a free resource. I mean, I can give you like 7 to 10 books right now that will blow your mind business-wise that are literally at any library in the nation, I promise. So it's not that, like, guys, my point is that we tell ourselves these stories. I don't have access to enough resources. I don't have the money right now. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm telling you right now, it's BS. And I'm telling you right now, I've done that and I continue to do it. I get lazier actually. That's like one of the hardest things about the phase of business that I just happen to be in is like when you actually do have the resources to kind of go and get what you want, you become quote unquote lazier. And so I combat that every day by distilling the information down and going like, well, what is the thing that I can do to do my best deep work, right? So I'll cut out all this extra stuff because like fun things are fun things, but I'm trying to get to this level over here, and there's only 2 or 3 things out there that will really help me get there. So I'm narrowing it down to that, right? Um, but I guarantee you there's a book in the library that will help you with this skill set right here, like sales, client sales. Yeah, okay, so Vita has a good comment. She says, one of the gym owners I wanted to work with, she had no luck with Facebook ads before. She just went to a Google class and has been trying that with some success right now. Just will come back to her later, question mark. I've got 2 more to talk with and possibly do trials with. Just was trying to sell other stuff to give me the time to do trials. Okay, so Vita, 2 things here. Well, number one, you know that if she had no luck with Facebook ads before, she's probably doing it all wrong, right? Do we understand that, guys? Every single client, 100% of them. There's never been a client where I've walked in and I'm like, you're crushing it with your ads. Not a single one. Not a single local client, not a single, actually, it's never been a client, period. And all the different types of clients that I've helped, yeah, so she did it wrong. So, I mean, no, the answer is not to just come back to her later, Vita. The answer is tell her you've been doing it wrong. You know, I mean, did you tell her that you know of a better way, a more profitable way, a way that works? You got to start there. Um, she and the way that you do that, guys, is say, well, that's normal. You know, like that's totally normal. But what you don't want to do is go hire one of these fly-by-night companies or these companies that are just all of a sudden into Facebook ads, like Yellow Pages, you can get Facebook ads through, and it's like $100 a month. It's like that is not a product that you can get a return on investment from, right? So they just need to understand the scope of the marketplace, and then they'll be like, wow, this Vita chick really, you know, knows what she's talking about, and if she has a better way, she's willing to do a free trial for me. What do I have to lose? That's where you need to have her arrive at, right? Does that make sense? So she did it wrong. That's a great opportunity. She's willing to invest in stuff. That's half the battle. She's already tried investing in it. And then you come in and you're like, look, I have a proven system, right? So go back through the first couple weeks of training, Vita, and understand what your positioning statement is, right? Well, before you were doing it and it wasn't getting results, but I happen to specialize in helping businesses that look just like yours, so gyms, profitably acquire new members every month. That's a big difference, isn't it? Because you just told me you're doing it unprofitably. You guys see the difference in the language there? Does that make sense? So no, don't come back to her later. Just come in and be like, look, I mean, what is she doing sitting in a Google class, by the way? Like, as a gym owner, why, what, she's going to like a seminar on Google? Like, I don't understand why she'd be doing that when you know exactly how to help her. You just plug in a proven campaign, start running it, and when you need help, come ask questions in the group, right? That is the fastest way for her to start getting more members. Point blank, right there. Yeah. And then your last sentence, Vita, I've got 2 more to talk with and possibly to do trials with. Just was trying to sell other stuff to give me the time to do trials. I think you mean other services when you mean sell other stuff. But if you can do the trials, I mean, the trials just take time, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's time in your day to do something with at least one of these guys, right? You just got to find it. So a good time hack is to write down everything you've done for 1 hour a day to really figure out where your time is. Because like most of us don't think about it, but like at nighttime, you know, we're watching Netflix or TV or the news or something, and those things largely don't matter to your success. It's just the way it is. If you're unplugging and stuff and you're like, I've been productive all day and I'm happy where I'm at and all that stuff, I'm not saying don't watch TV. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if you, yeah, so Vita, if you need cash now, do a week trial and just tell them if it works, you can start charging them. I mean, is there another service that you know where you can come in, get them results for free in 7 days and turn them into a paying client? Because if you run a trial for 7 days, they're going to get leads. That's a tangible result, right? Most of these guys, if they've done other stuff, especially, they've never gotten this many leads, you know? Cool. So Vita, if you're tracking productive already, then just look at what you can do now to get, like, I guess I still don't understand why you would come back to that person later if she has already spent money on Facebook ads and you can help her right now. Just go and help her right now. Does that make sense? And I realize I'm challenging you a little bit here, but that's the point. I mean, guys, think about this. What more work is there to do, really, if you've done the trial for 7 days and then you just switch it from a free trial to them paying you, you know, for the first month or whatnot? You don't have to do much. You just keep the campaign running and send them some reports. Okay, yeah. So Vita says she says she's getting good results with Google Ads. How much? This is good, Vita. Now we're getting to it, right? What is her cost per lead with Google Ads, and how many sales is she getting? What's her cost per sale? Meaning, how much money does she spend to get an actual lead, and how much money does she spend through Google Ads to get a paying member? Does she know that stuff? Lisa has a good question. Rob, I just had a strategy session with an owner. What should I say again to stir them away from charging and doing a 10-day free? He was concerned about getting freebie seekers. Well, is this a gym owner, Lisa? Are they in fitness? Because I can get, yeah, okay. So if it's a gym owner, I mean, this is like, Lisa, you're in the inner circle, you've heard these conversations. We would give away a 100-day free pass if it meant you could predictably sign up new members, wouldn't we? Like, so go to the extreme. Just be like, would you give away 1,000 free days if like 80% of the people who came in for their first day of that 1,000 free day pass signed up and gave you money and just said, yeah, this is a place for me? And they'd be like, oh, well, that's ridiculous, but of course. You'd be like, okay, well, it's the same concept with a 10-day free pass. 10 days is just enough for people to make it in about 3 times. And from what we've seen, if somebody comes in to work out 3 times and they like the place, they're going to sign up and be a member. That's why it's designed that way. In addition to that, 10-day free pass is better than anything else out there in the marketplace. Right? So people know it's a good deal. So they want it. They see it in a social context, not in a freebie seeker site like Groupon. Right? So we're like creating contrast there, Lisa. We're not marketing to freebie seekers on Groupon, are we? Nope, we're marketing on Facebook. People are looking at cats and babies and politics and all kinds of good stuff, and they see an offer that they actually want, and they're saying, I want to punch my name and email address into this thing, even though I have no idea who the hell you are, because it's that good of a deal, and I'll give you a shot. Cool. Right? then when they go into the place to see how it is, that's the business owner's job to give them an incentivized offer to sign up on day one. Hey, you like it around here? Do you feel like it's a good fit? Did you have a good workout? First day of workout? Awesome. My team's going to roll out the red carpet for you, make sure you're taken care of. We have a 10-day money-back guarantee, but if you want to look at options for signing up today, we do have some incentives. Would you like for us to show you what those incentives are? Right? See how different that is, Lisa? Yeah. Okay, let's bounce back to Vita real quick. Vita says, haven't sat down with her for that. Thought I'd let her work with it a while and come back to get her numbers. Again, Vita, I wouldn't wait. Like, why is that a good reason for waiting? Like, what does that have? If she's getting good results from Google, you should be able to ask her, okay, well, what are the results? Very straightforward, right? I challenge my prospects like that all the time. Not a single one has ever gotten pissed at me. In fact, it only makes me appear to know what I'm talking about more. So you cannot be afraid to ask these questions. You're getting good results? Great. And you know, what you're saying is, I believe you. And they go, oh, good, great. Oh, yes, I know more than Vita does. Right? That's what they say for a second. And then you go, so what are the results? And they go, fuck, I knew she was going to ask that. Right? And you're like, oh, wow, that's interesting. You're getting great results, but you don't know how much it costs to get a lead? Like, oh, well, I got like about 200 clicks. And okay, well, how much did you spend to get those clicks? Right? Oh, I spent like $300 to get 200 clicks. Okay, that means you have $1.50, you know, or whatever the math is. Or it's like 66 cents a click, right? So that's a good click-through rate. That's pretty good. Awesome. Do you know how many of those people actually turn into members? They'd be like, well, not directly, but it seemed to have gotten busier. People told us it was busier. Oh, people, like, do you mean the prospects or do you mean like your staff? Oh, well, it was both, but like mostly all the prospects who came in said they saw us on Google. Okay. Well, did your staff write that stuff down, or do you have some sort of like what happens when somebody signs up? Don't you know where they came from when they sign up? Oh yeah, we ask everybody. Oh yeah, well that's good to do, but most people don't remember where they saw you from, to be honest. That's what I found. Right? Yeah. So Vita says, okay, get it. So I was just going to give myself the time to work with someone who was more ready. Vita, you're being very generous. You're being a good human being. You're saying, I'm looking for somebody to do a free trial for. Like, again, if you position this correctly, that person should jump at the chance to work with you, right? If you want more time, I mean, Vita, it's like you said you need cash now, but you're going to give yourself more time to work with someone who's more ready. Which one is it? If you want the cash now, then you go take the opportunity that's in front of you and tell them, like, I want to do a free trial for you. And knowing in your head, you're like, I know this isn't maybe my ideal client, but if all I do is get a free trial with a case study out of it, I am making progress. I'm moving forward. I'm building momentum, right? And then you have a very good chance, if and when your trial client gets results, to turn them into a paying client for at least a month. Any small business can afford to pay someone like you for at least a month to get tangible results like this. I'm telling you guys that right now. Like, it's not hard for them to go like, oh, you got us like 25 leads in a week. Like, yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have 100 leads in a month next month and to close like 10% of them? Because that's kind of what we're seeing in your industry, the fitness industry, right? What would 10 new members do for your business next month? Oh, that would be great. Cool. Did you get that good of results with Google Ads? Well, we think so. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the data is really in on that, is it? I mean, if you are, keep doing it. Totally. But let's figure this out, right? We got to know if you're paying for advertising, you spend $500 to get 100 leads. That's great. $5 per lead. We'll take that all day in fitness, right? That's a great rate to pay. And if you can close 10% of those people, that's 10 new members. And how much did you charge up front again? Okay, so like 200 bucks to start and then 89 bucks a month. So it's like 300 bucks for that first person to sign up in the first month, right? Yeah. Cool. So if we get 10 of those, how much does that add up to, Mr. Business Owner? Well, 10 times 289 is like almost $3,000. Awesome. So the $500 that you spend to get that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Right? Yeah, and it's not even pushback. It's just true, isn't it? Like, did anything that I say sound pushy or like I was a jerk or that it was even untrue? Like, it's just everything you're saying is true. So it's very hard for a small business owner, if you just say it like that, for them to come back with anything meaningful because they don't know. They're just like regurgitating crap half the time, you know? They think they know or they would like to know, but they don't really know. Like, even my biggest clients, we usually have to tie the dots together for them like this, month after month after month after month, you know? Because they've got a million other things in front of them. They're drowning in operations, staff problems, employees hooking up, you name it, right? Yeah. So yeah, Lisa asks, should I offer script help like the kind Ryan mentioned in our circle calls to do free trial clients, or should I wait until they are monthly? I would do it right away if you feel like they're a good long-term client, Lisa. That's what I would do. I would give them your best stuff. Because sometimes once they realize that like you're a good fit, they'll be like, I'd skip the trial. How much is it to retain you each and every month? You know? So I don't like holding back the secret sauce because the truth is, if you help them for 1 week and then you leave, like there's very little chance that they're going to even like retain what you taught them. It takes longer than that, you know? Does that make sense? Yeah. So Vita says, wow, good pushback. Okay, Doug, good points. Great points. Yeah. Yeah, so Vita, she said, that's what I need is the proposition and objection practice. Yeah. It's about positioning, right? So how are we positioning ourselves? As the expert or advisor, right? The expert or advisor knows exactly what the client is going through. Like when your client says she's doing great with Google Ads, that probably means she's doing fucking terrible with Google Ads. You know, and I'm not being pessimistic. I've just found that every time a client says that, it means they have no idea what doing great means. Therefore, they're doing terrible. You know, they may have, I'm serious. Yeah, Pizza's like, laugh out loud. It probably means the exact opposite because they're probably read one snippet of information, latched onto that, and is completely taking it out of context. Such as, well, getting $10 cost per click is great for your industry. I mean, that means nothing. So she's like, oh, I'm getting $7 clicks all day. She's probably just paying for advertising, feeling good that she's below that number, but has no idea whether it's actually equating to new business or even new opportunities. Right? That's why we need to dig deeper and go, oh, okay, great. Like, I believe you, but tell me why. Because I actually know what I'm talking about, right? With three pieces of data, I can tell you if you're close at all, or way off, or totally crushing it. How much did you spend? How many leads did you get? And how many memberships came from it? That is it. Right? Again, Vita, 100% of the clients that I've ever talked to do not even know those numbers off the top of their head. They don't know it. You see what I mean? So if they are, you're happy, right? You're like elated. You're elated. You're like, oh my gosh, you're getting $5 cost per lead, and you went back and looked at the sales data, and you knew that Joe Schmo through Mary Miranda, you know, prospects 1 through 10 out of 100 all signed up as members. Good for you. Clap it up, right? Well done. You should be super proud of yourself, right? And then you go, that's awesome. By the way, they're not doing that through Google. There's no way. if you find out that they're crushing it like that with Google, I will send you or them or both $100 cash. In addition to that, if you were like, well, I know that you're spending this is probably more the case. Oh, I know you're spending $2,000 a month on Google ads and you're getting a lot of activity, but what if I could spend $500 in 1 month on Facebook ads and I could actually get you better prospects and better results? And I could also help you sell and close these guys better from Google and Facebook. I mean, is that something that you'd be interested in? Yeah, so Vita said, now you're onto it, girl. See what you mean. Does she have the numbers to show success? She probably does, but she's saying that everything is great, but she has no idea what the numbers mean, you know, and she certainly is not going to be able to pull them out of her back pocket when you ask her, I bet. I mean, if she does supply them, be like, oh, this is great. This is like how we actually, this is a good way to do it. This is how we actually see if something's effective. So kudos to you. So either, no matter what the answer is, if she says no, you'd be like, okay, well, it'd be good to figure that out because right now what I'm seeing with Facebook ads is this, this, and this. Most clients get about 100 leads a month for $5 a lead, and they're closing about 10% of them. Like, are you closing 10 new members a month over and above your normal activity from the Google ads? And they'll probably be like, oh, no. Thought I was doing well, right? And so you're just asking good questions and being strategic, but they're feeling worse and worse about saying what they said to you at first, right? On their own volition. And that's the way it should be. They have no idea what they're talking about. Like, I don't pretend to go in and tell my CPA, oh, the finances are great. It's like, dude, that's why I hired you. You tell me. Like, I don't operate in receivables and payables land. Like, that's what I pay that dude for, right? He's way better at it than I am. Way better. Does that make sense? And so it's kind of ridiculous that a client would be like, oh, I'm doing great with Google Ads. Oh, cool. You're doing them yourself? Yeah. I mean, you can totally bet that they're just like not doing great at all. So does this make sense, guys? So those are 3 really easy metrics that you can ask her for, Vita, and just approach her and be like, yeah, insert knife and twist. Like, and it sounds like you're doing that, but to them, they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, reality check. Thanks, Vita. And by the way, is there something that you can help me with to fix that? That's kind of how the conversation should go. That's loosely how the conversation should go, I should say. It should go exactly like that, but loosely. Does that make sense? Because anybody can analyze those 3 metrics. I don't care what it is. If it's yellow pages, great. How much are we spending? How many leads did we get? How many new customers did we get? You can calculate the cost per lead and the cost per sale right there and get a pretty good idea. Okay. So guys, that's this whole business in a nutshell. Like, that's the one conversation I have over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it does not change. It sounds the same in my prospecting phase, in my sales phase, my retention phase, in my post-client phase. Client comes back asking me about all this other shit. I'm just like, great, how much did it cost you? How many leads did you get? How many members did you get? You know, for each one. Go get the data and tell me. I can't tell you anything until you give me those things, and neither can you. You know, you can feel good all you want. You can listen to what people are saying at the front desk about where they found you all you want. The truth is they don't know. You and I know that very well. Do you remember where you saw the ad from your dentist the last time you went to the dentist? That was like 3 to 6 months ago for most people, right? I don't remember how I found my damn dentist, but I'm pretty sure I saw an ad, you know, or somebody referred me or something like that. But, you know, I probably Googled the guy afterwards to look at the reviews to make sure he was legit. And then when I come in, I go, oh, yeah, I saw you in Google reviews, you know, or Yelp reviews or something. And they're like, oh, that's how you found us. It's like, well, not exactly, but whatever. I don't care. Can you just clean my teeth? I'm in a rush. You guys see how this is going? So you guys are the ones who know this stuff. You can't, like Vita, if you allow that narrative to dictate the conversations, you're going to be waiting a long time to get a client. I can tell you that. So you have to turn the corner with these guys and get good at this so that they realize that there's a better way, or that there's at least a more analytical way, like a way that actually makes logical sense, right? Instead of just flying by the seat of their pants 24/7. Does that make sense? So Lisa has a good question. When a prospect tries to blow you off by saying we're doing good here or we're handling things in-house, do you keep with the convo and ask them questions like, oh, great, you are currently getting new members for under $5? Great. Or do you say, have a nice day? It depends on the context, Lisa. Ryan and I met with one of the nicest health club chains in San Diego. They're independently owned, but there's like 5 locations, and they're opening 2 more. And so it's funny because it was a higher level meeting, but it was the same thing that I've heard 1,000 times in my career, which is, oh, no, our sales are good. I'm like, oh, really? Cool. So like, what's your conversion rate? And then they told us, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And he was kind of like, oh, so like you guys can do better? And I'm like, yeah, we see some of our clients do double that. You know, and then they either get really defensive or they get quiet, right? Like defensive would be, oh, that's not even possible. I've never even seen that. And that's when I go, well, you tell me. Let me bring up this data real quick on my phone. Let me bring up the Facebook post from my client telling us that he's getting this rate. I mean, it's their words, not ours, you know? Let me show you clients 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 who are saying the same thing. You know what I mean? They will tell themselves a story in their head just like we will about the coaching thing. They think that they're already doing everything they need to be successful. It's rarely true. It's almost never true, in fact, right? So when I hear we're doing good here, that usually means the exact opposite. Like what I got at this meeting was, oh, we're doing pretty good here, but we're always open to like learning new things and getting better. So that was good. It was like the door is open for them to be open to more help. But we started talking about sales and it was touchy. Ooh, it was touchy. Probably because one of the guys that was there is in charge of that department, so he's defensive about it, right? So, no, we're good on the sales thing, man. It's like code for like, that is a broken, fucked up ass machine that needs to be fixed. That's exactly what it means. So, oh, I know that, Lisa, but I'm giving you an example of what to listen for. So there's 2 things. There's what people will tell you and what is typically the case. We are doing good here usually means I don't trust you or I don't know who you are, and that, again, is just their lizard brain going like, I'm good. You know, I get 10 of these a day or whatever. You know, like I don't have the energy or emotional strength to go and vet through people and tell them my whole story about how shitty I'm doing. That's basically what that's saying typically, right? But if you can get down to their needs, Lisa, right? So again, I'd be curious to see what the actual conversations are like, Lisa, the back and forth, because when you're talking about business growth with people, if you position it the right way, most people will say, well, of course, we're always looking for more members, right? And then they'll usually come back around with like, but how can you help us do something different than what we're doing right now? Yeah, so Lisa's saying, so Lisa, you just got to peel the onion back, right? So so if somebody said, I'm doing great, I'd be like, okay, good. So you're not actively looking for more members each month. Like you're at full capacity? Is that what that means? Do you see that? How that that's like a disarming question a little bit because you already know the answer. Be like, yeah, we're good. Like, bye. On the next interaction. But if somebody's truly interested in growth, and they, oh no, but well, we're always interested in more members, but at what cost? Like, or how are you talking? Like, we're not going to do another challenge. We've already tried that. It's usually because they've been burned before. So you have to be aware of that, but take a step back and go, well, what's the thing that I know every gym owner wants? It's more members. I've never met like, this is another thing, guys. I've never met a local business client, especially a gym owner, who's been at capacity. Not a single one. So that's a great question to ask because I already know the answer. Oh, so you must be operating at full capacity and, and you're good, right? Like you're stuffed to the gills, right? So because that's the thing that everybody wants. It doesn't mean like they don't care about how you do it. They really don't. Yeah, so Lisa said that I've just been saying have a nice day, so I need to keep going. Yeah, I mean, like it's hard, right? Like have you ever been to a networking event where you walk up to somebody who's perfect for your service and they're just like giving you this cold shoulder at first? It might take 2 or 3 awkward questions to get them to actually open up and realize that you're there to help them instead of like just barrage them with crap they're not interested in, you know? So if you are willing to peel the onion layers back 2 or 3 steps, or at least try, and you actually care, you have to actually give a shit. That's the problem. You can't be um, like shoving it back in their face and attacking them. Like, oh, if you're not getting $5 a lead, then you're paying too much. Like that'll immediately turn them off, and they'll be like, bye, right? But you just have to peel it back and go. So honestly, I want to know because I want to, I'm here to help, but I know it's working really, really well out there right now. This is probably how I'd write back to that, Lisa. Um, I get that, right? Acknowledge what they're saying. This is a good acronym, guys. Do you guys know the llama? The llama sequence here. And then I got to hop off to my next call, guys. Llama. Listen. Ask question. Make statement. And then call to action. Is that it? No, listen, acknowledge. Sorry, it's been a while. Make statement, then ask the question. Asking the question is the last thing, right? So your responses should loosely follow this, Lisa. Okay, cool, I heard you. You do stuff in the house. I respect that, right? So don't fight that because you don't want to like turn around and be like, well, that's bullshit. I know that's bullshit. You're wrong. It'll immediately turn them away. So listen to what they're saying. Oh, we're already doing it at house. It's probably their employee or daughter or their nephew or something. That's fine. Who cares, right? You acknowledge and you say, oh, cool. Yeah. A lot of people I talk to also do this kind of stuff in house. That acknowledges that they are like it's valid, right? Make a statement. Most of what I'm seeing working out there, or no, this is probably a better way to say it. Making a statement, right? Because the question we're about to ask is, are you at capacity? So I'm just curious because most gyms that I help with this kind of thing are not at capacity, right? So that again, you're not calling them a liar, but you're also saying like what I'm seeing out there in the marketplace. I'm observing this because I'm in this market. Most gyms that say that are not yet at capacity. Are you saying that you're at full capacity right now and you can't take any more new members on? Does that make sense, Lisa? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't think you are, but I'm just trying to get crystal clear on that one, my man, my woman, right? And then they'll write back and go, no, but like, da 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 da. And then, but then, you ask 2 or 3 more good questions like that. You do the same little framework, and all of a sudden they're like, well, show me what it is that's, all you're trying to get them to do is to look at what's working right now because it's different. Like, I'd love to just show you what's working for me and my clients who look just like you. 15 minutes. The worst that's going to happen is that you leave knowing what's working right now in your market for gyms. That is the absolute worst that's going to happen. It's just not that hard to get people on the phone when you do this matter that well. That make sense, Lisa? So you're onto it, girl. You're getting close. All right, guys, I got to hop off. Got the inner circle call here right after this. Please, 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 if you guys at all are on the fence about joining this program, there's like 2 or 3 spots left, and like tomorrow by end of day, it'll just be closed no matter what. So we'd love to have you in there. I love you all. Otherwise, we'll keep doing these calls. My wife is having contractions, and yeah, Lisa's saying do it. It's worth it. It totally is, right? I appreciate that, Lisa. My wife is having contractions. The baby's not due for another 4 weeks, but sometime in the next month, I'm expecting us to just be, headed to the hospital. So I might miss one call, probably 2 max, but one of these Rainmaker calls. But we'll keep doing these each week, guys. Okay? I love helping you, and I'm super grateful you're part of my community. Lonnie says congrats. Thanks, Lonnie. Yeah, I'll post some pictures in the group once it comes time. So, all right, guys, that's it. Hit the Facebook group with questions, and keep hustling up there, and we'll see you soon.